We believe that in today's world, to stay competitive, businesses need to automate their decisions using machine learning-based systems. Our team brings the best value and the best tools and the latest techniques to build long-term value for your business. To tackle each project, we bring a specialized team of data scientists and data engineers. They are real data nerds who have passion about building the best solutions for your problems. We also bring to the table our strategic data consulting expertise to try to understand your business needs and urgency to make sure we build our solutions in a timely and business-aligned manner.
So at Mutt Data, we always begin our projects with a discovery phase. This is a moment in the project where we dive deep into your company and understand your actual problem, create an understanding of your status, where you are and where you want to be, what your needs are technically and also business-wise. We need to incorporate a lot of the stakeholders that will be benefiting from the project, that will be developing in the project, that will be impacted by the project. And that means also understanding your infrastructure, what your data looks like, what's your code base, what are your systems, and obviously, and most importantly, what are your KPI and business goals that you want to achieve. To do this, we go through a lot of standardized design questions. We have a lot of meetings with the client, and obviously engineering-wise or business-wise, but in the end, all of this leads up to a certain process that will help us improving what we understand from your problem. For the discovery process, we use these questions in conjunction with the machine learning canvas. This is a tool that consists of questions that allow us to illustrate our vision or our project in a simpler way that is visually appealing and easy to understand. In short, it answers some key questions regarding what we want to achieve, how we will learn, how will the machine learning models will learn, what is the data, what sources is it going to be using, how are we going to collect that data in the future, what are the features for the model, and what are the different algorithms or models to be implemented. Then it also has a part telling us how we will be making predictions, when we will be making those predictions, and what are the technical obstacles to implement that. Finally, it will help us understand how we will plan and continuously test a machine learning model that will be in production. All of this information together leads to different proposed solutions that we will believe will be best fit for your needs. Eventually, with all of this information together, we produce what is called a product brief. In a product brief, we'll find a defined KPI, a very understanding business metric, and a design document that will also help us plan accordingly. As an overview, we need to understand what your architecture is, and we'll map it to a diagram in our design doc, but also help us understand what is the roadmap, what is the outline, what are things that we are not going to do, what is an MVP, what is the end game after the MVP, and what are the different obstacles that we might find together during the project. To end the discovery phase, we will come up with an action plan. This is an actual ground-to-earth description of the different milestones and tasks to be made. It will help us close the gap from where we are right now to where we want to be, and it will also help us understand what is the approximate estimated project duration and what is the scope of what we want to build, what we need from your teams or systems, and what we will be delivering. Obviously, a project's duration depends on many things, and this is an estimation, and this is not a waterfall process, but more of an agile process. This is a high-level overview where the different phases will feedback loop into each other. And finally, to have an accurate estimate, this will depend on the technical maturity of the company, it will depend on the skill set of what we want to achieve, the complexity, and it will also depend on what is the manpower we have for it.
In the kickoff phase, we first start by reviewing the project objectives and the roadmap to reach them. We also need to agree on what are the measurables that we can use to track the progress of the project, and also we need to agree what's the definition of time of each work track. This process also includes the client at all times. Apart from that, in this stage we also set up and agree on which are the tools that we are using to communicate and to work on the day-to-day basis. This includes setting up Google Drive folders, Slack channels, Git repositories, and task tracking boards, such as Click, Trello, or whatever the client generally uses. After the kickoff phase, we begin with the meat of the process of developing a data product, that is the development phase. Here, we need to ensure that there's always a fluid communication both internally and externally. To do that, we make extensive use of various tools such as Slack channels, task boards and alike, but also we set up weekly meetings both within our team and also with the client's team, to always make sure that the relevant people is in the loop and they always have the same information and they are on the same page as us. Apart from that, we also have high-level meetings with the stakeholders of the projects. These are the people that understand the final business value that we want to generate, and in that way they can help us to get the resources that we need to complete the projects, and also they help us to discover new opportunities that we can use to generate more value to the client. So, as a summary, we have these two tracks of meetings that go side by side. First one is the day-to-day, that it's related with the weekly meetings, that cares mostly about following the roadmap that we have defined, align the goals, and compare the current status with the desired final state, that it's having the project completed and make corrections on the fly. And then we have this less recurrent cycle of meetings that is related to the high-level management of the project, that it's more focused on the business value and the opportunities and solutions that we can offer the client. Regarding the more technical side of the project development, we always use a Scrum-like methodology to build infrastructure and systems for the client. This means that we make incremental progress incorporating continuous user feedback. This is in part for what the weekly meetings are for. Apart from that, we strive to use the best software engineering practices, such as breaking down tasks in smaller, easier to review PRs, having automated deployments to production and development environments, writing excellent documentation, and enforcing code quality via CI automations.
When we put a data system into production, we follow certain guidelines in order to minimize risks. We keep the client informed in case anything happens. We also strive to automate things. The main objective is for deployment to be a non-event, for it to run smoothly. Once we deploy, we go into the hardening phase. We take some weeks for the final user to actually take the system for a spin. This gives us an additional control instance. It's the perfect timing for us to add additional monitoring, fix any pending bugs, and actually make sure that every single component works. Depending on the specific nature of the project, we sometimes employ A/B testing to verify whether the new version is actually an improvement over the previous iteration.
So our final phase for all of the project is about knowledge transfer. This obviously overlaps the implementation phase, where you kind of end up doing one and then start with the other one at the same time. But while you're finishing a project, you start to schedule sessions to try to understand exactly how the different concepts and how the different modules of the system interact together, how they can improve, how they work as a whole, how this could be taught to other developers or to other business users. And in the end, this brings about different outputs, such as documentation and tools, runbooks, videos, and whatever the business side or the development side, technical side need to improve and continuously operate the system. We also do this internally. This doesn't mean that we only share this with our clients, but across different projects, and it's important that other developers across Mutt understand what are the best practices to be used in the tools and frameworks that are used in order to actually develop the systems that we build, the machine learning systems. So it's important to share this learning, it's important to do internal talks, it's important to talk about how to actually improve, how to actually fix the different issues that can arise, and there's always something to learn. Obviously this could be technical, this could be technological, regarding data science, machine learning, it could be software engineering practices, but then as well you have issues in the area of industries, best practices and business understandings and different approaches for the client and project management. In the end, all of that is documented and living in some stored space. It could be Google Drive or videos or documents or Wikipedia or whatever, but this is all important that it is actually used, stored and transferred to the appropriate people.
Working with Mutt Data means working with an expert team of data scientists and data engineers. We will walk you through the whole process of building a machine learning solution and keep your team in the loop the whole way. We will study your business needs, systems, infrastructure and processes and make sure we design together a tailor-fit solution that best solves your problem. We will then develop this solution, we will deploy it and operate it, and later we will make sure your team has all the know-how it needs to operate this solution and extend it in the future.
Mutt is a remote-first async company, which basically means we can work from anywhere in the whole world, and we don't all have to be working online at the exact same time. This gives us a lot of benefits, and basically what we do to be able to achieve this is just have open communication, use the right tools, and we've also tried to go ahead and combine the best of two worlds. So we still do have an office and you can go there, whenever you feel you need some human connection. And we still have our annual Mutt trip and an annual Mutt day. So it's basically a great combination of both worlds, and we've been doing it for 3 years now and it works.
Our culture is about being collaborative and working together. We try to generate open spaces and channels for discussion. We try to get people to participate in projects of their interest, and we try to be flexible, focusing on results and letting people get there however they feel comfortable doing so. The main objective is to keep it positive, keep the team learning, challenged and communicated. To do so, we encouraged and acknowledge hard work, enthusiasm, teamwork, ownership and autonomy.